By the way, I was getting emails from some crazy liberal.
Redundant. That's redundant.
She says she's like she has her own little press company, sending me emails demanding that I call and tie up the lines. That's what it was.
That's what they
She's
were
nuts,
doing.
though. She was like a crazy stalker girlfriend.
Right.
Imogen, what do you make of this?
Obama began his re-election campaign for 2012 in earnest today. It was quite fascinating. The poll that struck me most just before the midterms was that 80% of Americans wanted compromise. So it's a politician that takes the middle ground for 2012 who is going to win. So today his speech was all about compromise and how about America was built on compromise. And Obama is taking the middle ground. I think landslide 2012 at this rate.
Position. I mean,
Landslide
the Republicans had announced the week before, we'll take the unemployment deal, we want all of this. And plus, he threw in a cut on the payroll tax.
Which is great.
Which is why he's more popular than all the Republican leaders at the moment. He's 12 points ahead of Palin at the moment.
But he's got to win a primary.
And also, to Imogen's point, extending the job loss stuff, that was not a Republican move. That was something the Republicans had to take that was very liberal.
You're talking about the unemployment?
He extended it for 13 weeks. Yeah, that was
13
months. Sorry, that ain't Republican.
But excuse me very much, they had said 2 weeks before, fine, we'll do that, no problem. We just want these tax cuts. And they got in that Social Security tax.
Yeah.
I mean, Obama just went over and put on a GOP sign. He might as well become a Tea Partier. No wonder the left's mad at him, and they're going to stay mad at him a long time.
The payroll tax deduction they're going to predict is going to raise GDP by 0.7%.
Did you look that up today?
Yes, I did.
Good for you.
I did. And that's going to make Obama look good, and you're right, it's going to help him in the elections.
Absolutely. Fundamentally, he's going to win in 2012 if he carries on this way. It's the politician that claims the middle ground.
But here's the ultimate epiphany. If a Democrat wants to win, act like a Republican. Okay, what's it like to eat an entire litter of kittens in one sitting? John Gibson tells us about his dinner reservations next. But first, a birthday party with robots? Yes, a birthday party with robots. Hey, it sure beats a birthday party with robots. Hey, wait, that's the same thing. I'm an idiot. They want their faith in affairs of state to... Yes, according to a poll from the Pew Research Center, most Muslims around the world welcome a big role for Islam in their country's political life. And majorities in Pakistan, Egypt, Jordan, and Nigeria would favor changing current laws to allow stoning as punishment for adultery, hand amputation for theft, and death for those who convert from Islam to another religion. Also, about 85% of Pakistani Muslims said they would support a law segregating men and women in the workplace. Not bad. Finally, 73% said this lady is totally sexy.
I like to say that my hands look good naked. They are really just the perfect neutral toned hands. So the skin is flawless and it's very even toned, so it lights well and it photographs well. The nails are very, very healthy, and they just emanate, like radiate health and good care.
So, I mean, you're very protective of your hands.
I'm incredibly protective. I view my hands as elite athletes, like Olympic athletes. And so everything I do is to protect them from being in any jeopardy or any danger in any way. So for me, that means no cooking, no cleaning, no taking out the garbage, no opening cans, no opening windows, no opening doors, no gardening, no sports, no, a million no's.
I really hate her hands now. It's like somebody with really like kids talking about her kids all the time. Shut up about your stupid kids.
Yeah.
It's as if she has no hands. She can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
She's almost paralyzed.
She was in one of those Muslim countries. She could lose her hands for stealing all of our time. Anyway, John, this is kind of scary, these beliefs. Can we safely say these views are wrong?
I don't know about wrong, but I mean, you know, if you read the Quran, the life of the Prophet, that's what it says. Religion is politics, government, and government politics is religion. I don't think we should be surprised. It seems like normal.
Yeah, that scares me. Imogen, does it scare you?
It does. I come from a very secular society. I come from the UK, so I get shocked when Obama is given a hard time for not going to church enough, let alone all this going on. However, let's take lemons and make lemonade. Of everybody polled, the vast majority were very anti-Al-Qaeda, apart from in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So avoid Nigeria.
There you go. And you know what? We were planning on going there, Bill.
I had already written out one of those timeshare deals.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know what? You're going alone. Lauren, doesn't this kind of say that there probably aren't as many moderates as we keep being told? Like, what are the moderates?
You know what? There probably isn't a lot of thieves either.
Yes.
Or you could definitely tell who they are.
That's true.
There.
That's positive.
You're coming out in support of
I'm
this.
looking for the silver lining here. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that they look back on the good old days of stoning a cheating
Yeah.
wife and cutting off hands, but does not seem like a moderate society, judging by this poll, no.
Well, you know, maybe just a point, Bill. Couldn't this have just been like a religious wish list? But they didn't really expect that they were going to get...
In a perfect world, vodka would be coming from every faucet. Yes, I'd vote on it, but I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like half the reason that their answers were a bit hardliney is because pew polling, I mean, they're kind of baiting them a little bit. Muslims do not pray in pews. If they'd done something like, if they'd given a polling place like kneel and pray to the east polling, then they would have been a little more accepting.
I counted.
It's like pew, 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 pew. They're not churchgoers, Greg.
I gotta say, I counted 2, 4, 6, 6 eye rollings with that pun. 6 eye rollings.
There's no pun, Greg. It's called pew. It's a word.
It wasn't funny.
I like the hard-liney. Little hard-liney over there.
It's a Muslim word.
All right. Hey, do you have a comment on the show? Email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. And to leave a voicemail on my direct line, call 212-462-5050.
If you answer.
I always answer. Still to come, the halftime report from TV's Andy Levy. Kind of a sad man.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by rockets, those vehicles filled with combustible materials used to propel it skyward by the discharge of the gases liberated by combustion. Thanks, rockets.
Welcome back. Let's find out if we've gotten anything wrong so far. For that, we'll go to TV's Andy Levy. So, Andy, that was quite a blowout last night.
It really was, Greg. Great party.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah. You didn't think I was going to talk football with you, did you?
I was kind of hoping you would. But
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Maybe next time. Head of New York Taxi Cab Driver Union thinks drivers had racially profiled. John, you said that Fernando Mateo was concerned about his drivers getting killed. Maybe he's just giving them good advice. And the thing is, Mateo doesn't exactly, it's not like he has a history of race baiting. He's the head of an organization called Hispanics Across America. He supports guest worker visas for immigrants, as you do, John.
He was Hispanic of the Year one time, yeah.
Yeah, 1994 from Hispanic Magazine, John.
Wow.
He also started the whole Toys for Guns program, where I believe children could turn in their toys and get guns.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally backward, Andy. You got that wrong.
So what did I get
what's that?
wrong?
Did I misspeak? No, you didn't get anything wrong, John. I'm agreeing with you.
Perfect.
I'm agreeing with you.
Perfect.
He was also one of President George H.W. Bush's shining points of light.
The Oracle at Fernando.
Yeah. Imogen, you said that cab drivers in England won't pick up people, did you say who are walking over a bridge?
It's the whole thing you've got with Brooklyn here. Same goes for the UK. There's a north-south divide between south of the river and north of the river. Taxi drivers don't like going south of the river, like taxis here don't like going to Brooklyn or around, over a bridge.
Okay.
Sorry.
Because they don't think they're going to get a fare back.
Right,
That's the
gotcha.
problem. Yeah.
By the way, Imogen, in England, taxis are actually called lifts.
Tell him he's wrong.
What are you talking about?
What's that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just showing off my in-depth knowledge
you
of
know
British
nothing.
society.
You've got the knowledge. I'm sorry, I think not.
All right.
No.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Elevators, by the way, boots.
Boots. Yeah.
Yep. Greg, you mentioned that Al Sharpton called Mateo's statement absurd. Mateo's response, quote, clearly everyone knows I'm not racist, I'm Hispanic, and my father is black. My father is blacker than Al Sharpton.
Really?
Yeah. Bill, you said correctly that livery cabs can only pick up passengers who call, but then you cast aspersions on livery drivers, saying that they mostly pick up people illegally. In fact, in Upper Manhattan and other areas where rich, snobby, elite people like you don't go, people call for liveries all the time, Bill.
Really?
Yeah, maybe get out a little more.
I got to go visit that ghetto they call the Upper East Side.
You really do.
And just,
You
you know,
really do.
do the soup kitchen maybe. Do that, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
and
on your way
take a livery back.
On your way back.
Yes.
Yeah. Assange arrested.
Yeah, I
John,
guess everybody in America understands what the hell you're talking about.
I know. Assange. John, you said there are a lot of Americans who should be looking for Assange and doing whatever. Whatever do you mean?
You know, transport.
Surely you're not calling for our government to assassinate the man.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Although
I'm
I
just
have
checking.
heard politicians
All right.
call for that.
Okay.
I'm calling for a room at Gitmo as quick as he can be brought there, and that's the limit of what.
And then,
all right,
we'll
a little
figure
waterboarding.
And we'll figure out the charges later, right?
I've got them figured out right now.
Do you?
Would you like me to go into it?
Not really.
Okay.
By the way, the charges Assange was arrested on were unlawful coercion, sexual molestation, and rape, not sex by surprise.
Yeah, well, that was because it changed, didn't it?
No, apparently, as I just discovered, the whole sex by surprise thing, there's no such thing in Sweden.
So wait a minute. We did a whole segment on it on Friday.
Yeah, you were wrong.
But wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wow, I wish I could go back in time and erase that whole episode.
Assange's lawyer asserted that that's what the charge was. Apparently, from a little bit of reading that I just did, it may have come from the mistranslation or from the translation of a colloquial term for rape in Sweden.
That's what I said. I always thought it was a translation problem, but everyone's going, no, it's sex by surprise, and it showed up everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a dupe.
You are.
I think we can all agree on that. Yeah, it's just like
apparently,
you feel
by
part
the
of the
way,
old
and
country.
I'm not making this up. It's apparently like a light-hearted term for rape.
Of course.
Right.
That's what
It's
I said.
delightful.
It's a poetic way of saying it.
Bizarre. Obama's press conference. Imogen, you said Obama began his re-election campaign for 2012 in earnest today. Who's Ernest?
Oh, importance of. Sorry, Oscar Wilde. I was trying to be witty. It fell flat.
Okay.
Just leave
Oh,
me.
he knows all sorts of British
Just
stuff.
leave me be. And can't you pick on Lauren? You haven't been to her yet.
Bill, weren't you just in earnest Saturday night?
That wasn't very important. I already forgot his last name.
Greg, what was that you said about the payroll tax and the GDP, I think it was?
So it could lead to an estimated increase of 0.7%. Yeah.
I wanted to see if you could do it again.
Yeah.
That was
would
great.
put it up over 4%, which is quite healthy.
Absolutely. That's a 3% growth.
Yes, it is.
I got to say, I enjoyed seeing Obama get fired up for once. I just wish, he would direct some of that passion at our enemies like Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, and Belgium.
That's a good point, my friend.
Thank you.
I think it's he always finds that that's jingoistic. If he gets angry towards our enemies, that's seen as kind of like showy. But if you can get angry at poverty or something like that, that's not showy. Terrible.
Okay.
I'm out of here.
All right.
See ya.
See you, man. Pew's Muslim survey. Lauren, you were talking about the idea that many Muslims support things like cutting off the hands of thieves, and you said there probably aren't a lot of thieves in Muslim society, or if you know, or at least you know who they are. What about the people born handless? Doesn't that suck for them?
Oh, God, it's a rough life.
Just the stigma
really
of people thinking your whole life that you're a thief, and really you're not.
Yeah, that's the big tragedy.
Seriously? Right.
Yeah, no, you bring up a great point. Maybe that's why they outlawed it in the first place.
Seriously. Exactly.
Why are you assuming they can't pickpocket with their mouths, Andy?
I'm just
handist.
assuming they're not guilty just because they have no hands, Bill, unlike you, handist.
I'm hoping they pickpocket with their mouths.
And lastly, interestingly, 83% of the world's Muslims believe that Bill Schultz should be covered in fragrant oil and then set on fire. So common ground.
I like the part before the fire.
Finally.
The fragrant oil sounds nice.
Something we can all agree on.
That sounds like an Arizona spa.
Bill, you could bring all religions together.
Yes, you could bring world peace if you would just let us cover you in fragrant oil and set you on fire, Bill.
Maybe the oil and then I tan. That's
All
kind of
right.
like being on fire.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
To the Gregologue, it's a clam of common sense and a stew of stupidity.
Really?
You guys having fun over there? Good.
Nah.
Okay. So it was Eric Bollard's birthday last night, and no one noticed. Well, except for me. I sent the Media Matters MOPA a bouquet of edible underwear, since it may be one of the few things George Soros won't pay for. But what a gloomy day for EB. He has just one job, watching Fox News in his tie-dye onesie, and he screwed that up. Days ago, his hive of hacks mistook a Leno skit for a Fox special report clip, and this caused them to issue a regret the error note. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a big deal. People make mistakes like this all the time. I made 7 of them in the last sentence. However, it should offer a moment of contemplation for Eric as that curved line of middle age descends towards death. This is what you do for a living, and you don't do it well. Think about it. Your job is to focus on media bias. But because the media world, i.e. TV news, motion pictures, the art world, newspapers, academia, all forms of pop music and pop culture are liberal, it leaves your progressive outfit with one real target, Fox News. So that's got to tell you something. If your time is consumed needling just one outlet, that says you're on the bloated side of liberal bias, or else you would have many more targets. And yet you still mucked it up. You're like the kid in class whose only assignment is to carry around an egg, a lesson of responsibility, and you dropped it. That's got to be a sign. As another birthday passes, it's time to do something an adult can be proud of. Churning out repetitive spurts of envious whining doesn't make for a life, even if Soros pays dearly for it. An alternative, pressed flower craft. It's like decoupage, but with pressed flowers. And if you disagree with me, you're worse than Hitler.